Community Spotlight, powered by ATB Wealth Kelowna. Ready to take a powerful step towards the future you want today? Connect with local advisors at ATB Wealth Kelowna to get started.
Hello everyone, and welcome to ATB Wealth Community Spotlight, where we feature local businesses that are making an impact in our community. Today I'm joined by Derek from Lakeside Pharmacy. Derek, thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me, Rob.
No problem. It was funny because earlier we were like, we've talked so many times virtually, in the virtual world, and we're like, we actually exist. Yeah. So it's kind of funny that you, in this world nowadays, sometimes you go wild, but you meet people in purpose.
It's all virtual for sure.
Yeah. So Derek, thanks for joining today. I appreciate it. I think there's a few things we want to chat about. Maybe I'd like to start a little bit about Lakeside Pharmacy has been in our community for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think, I would say most people have probably heard the name in our community, but maybe just the Coles notes of someone that hasn't maybe visited you guys.
Right.
Who are you? What do you do? What can they expect? Like, tell us a little bit about the pharmacy.
Yeah. So it's been around for 50 years, and really our mantra this whole time has been personalized care.
Right.
And taking the time to care.
Right.
These days, when you walk into a drugstore, the staffing levels are not really permissive.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
To have conversations, deep conversations about health. And so our main mission and the way we run our pharmacy is we actually have more pharmacists right on the floor. You can just pop into my little office and we can have a conversation without you having to wait. So it leads to very satisfactory care for our patients, and we can dig into issues quite a bit deeper.
Right, right.
And because we also have a compounding lab where we can make our own formulations, make medications that are more bespoke. The sky's the limit with what we can achieve with patient care. So we've been around for a while, and we're still growing, which is very, very nice.
Interesting. So, and how long? When did you join sort of the family there?
For sure. So I started with Lakeside actually as a student pharmacist.
Oh, okay.
So I applied for an internship in 2014.
Okay.
And I did 2-3 years of just summers at this job, and I fell in love with it. I became obsessed with it. And so I talked to the owners at the time, and I was like, I'm drinking this Kool-Aid.
Yeah, this is my path.
Yeah, this is my path. I found it. And so I think in retail pharmacy, you become a little bit disillusioned with working conditions. So it was a breath of fresh air to work with people who are like-minded, and and sure enough, in 2021, I had the opportunity to come on board and become a co-owner, and it's been amazing.
That's awesome. So I'm curious, if we take a little step back, what got you into pharmacy at the start? Like, what how did you make that decision of going down this path, even in the schooling side? Like, lots of options in the family. Like, how did that all come about for you?
Right. So I don't know if you know, but I'm from Tegucigalpa, Honduras, in Central America.
Okay.
And my dad actually was a co-owner of a pharmaceutical company down there.
Oh, interesting.
So,
so it was in the blood a little bit?
A little bit, yeah. So he's a pharmacologist, medicinal chemist, and he would take me to his job, actually, and he would basically help me with all my science fair projects. We'd make capsules, we'd make creams together.
You had a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that stuff I loved, and then I was always I really liked being front facing. I really liked that patient interaction, solving problems for patients, and so pharmacy, as current pharmacy practices in Canada, was just such a perfect fit for me because I get to hang out with patients, I get to solve their problems, and that's really the addictive part of this job. You kind of get to see people week in, week out, improving or not improving, and you get to be a part of that process, which
interesting.
Is really
so did you come to Canada to go to school here then?
Yeah, I came in high school.
Okay.
Kind of with the plan to go through this path.
Right.
And things just kind of fell into place for me.
Yeah. Were you thinking you were going to stay, or was it come here for a bit and then go back?
No, I think the opportunities here were
Okay.
just so much better.
Yeah, yeah.
And I knew I wanted to stay. My mom is here too, which
Okay, yeah.
so yeah, we got our roots here, which is really nice.
Love it. Do you still have family in Honduras?
I do, yeah.
Do you go back quite often or not really?
Every couple of years,
Yeah,
typically,
yeah.
yeah.
Hard.
Mhm.
It's hard to get back though. I mean,
It is.
you
It's a
when you
lot.
start a life here.
It's a lot of flights,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, it's, there's no direct flights, so it's like three flights typically, or four, and it takes 18 to 27 hours.
Really? So
Yeah.
even out of like bigger centers like Vancouver, there's nothing direct?
No, you have to go to Costa Rica or El Salvador
Interesting.
or Mexico, and then you kind of
Yeah,
flow
yeah.
down. So
Interesting.
yeah, I wish there was.
Yeah, I wish it was easier.
Yeah.
So it's awesome. So you've had that journey. You came to school. You became student, partner. Now to today, we talked about compounding. But can we talk about, I think one thing that makes you guys unique as well is like, I love that level of service. That's one area. Like I feel like you guys take a different approach to, and it's hard to even explain it unless you actually experience it. Like if you haven't, if you're listening, you haven't, pop in and even just have a chat. Cause I think you get what we're trying to say, but you have other things you do within the four walls at the pharmacy. Can we talk a little bit about more? It's more than, when you think of, you're not just filling prescriptions. That's not like you do a lot more than that, right?
100%. Yeah. So we have actually a highly intercollaborative team in our four walls. We have 2 RNs and an LPN. So we've also been in the game in home health care.
Right.
And we do a lot of ostomy care.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of wound care, compression. So we kind of try to be a bit of a one-stop shop for most of the community's health needs.
Right.
And it's worked really well for us.
Interesting. And since you started in 2014, there's been a lot of change in sort of what you can't do, prescribe, not. Like, what are some of the big changes you've seen? Or just maybe let's talk about the last couple of years. Like, I know through the bad word COVID, through COVID, things changed, and then there's a lot of telemedicine that's happening, telehealth that's happening. Like, what's the big changes for you that you felt over the last couple of years?
Yeah, definitely a little bit more administrative burden. All these new programs like pharmacist prescribing are government funded.
Right.
So a lot of paperwork, of course, to go with that. But my Saturdays are looking a little bit different when I work them. It almost feels like I'm running like a mini walk-in.
Interesting.
Because we are having to sit down and do these assessments and prescribe algorithmically for minor ailments, is what we call the service. And so it is basically like a walk-in clinic appointment with a slightly less of a wait. Yeah. Because typically I try to be available right away, right?
Yeah.
But it's working well, and it's the conversations that we're having during these appointments that really are very fruitful.
Yeah, and you're just not another number. You actually take time to look at your tagline. We take the time to care. I think I was just going to say that, and I'm like, well, it's right in front of me. So I think I think that's really what the difference is. And sometimes you said if it's staffing levels or knowledge, when you go into a drugstore, you're not getting the same level necessarily they just can't, they just don't have either the space or the knowledge or the time or whatever it is, And I feel like there's a different experience. But is there anything that you feel like you've been in the industry for a while now that maybe people would be surprised about that you guys do that don't? Is there something that kind of like, I feel like, things like you do delivery service, you'll be like, but is there anything like that maybe we want to talk about? Like there's TELUS Pharma Connect. Like, is there anything sort of that we want to chat about that might be a little bit different than you would find at your typical pharmacy?
Yeah, what I'm finding goes under the radar a little bit is our veterinary prescriptions.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
People think of people as being patients. But we have quite a few pets as patients, and we can make whatever drugs you need with a chicken flavor or a beef flavor, or for those fuzzy cats. You can give them something in liver or cod oil, and makes these administrations of medications a little bit more easy. A little bit easier, a little bit less of a fight with your pet.
Interesting.
So we do work with vet clinics as well to customize medicine, not just for humans, but for pets, right?
Oh,
so,
interesting.
and we're pretty tech heavy pharmacy as well. So we know you're busy, so we text you when things are ready. We text you when your doctor contacts us to renew your prescription. We kind of try to get out of your way, let you live your life.
Yeah, I like it.
And then just kind of let everything happen in the background for you, right? And then you come in and we try to make the process as seamless as possible.
Very cool. And then vaccines as well. So travel vaccines or any, like you guys cover all those as well, which is something we should probably let people know as
That's
well.
true. Yeah, we do a ton of immunizations, especially during our flu season. We see a lot of our usual seniors vaccinations like shingles, tetanus, pneumonia vaccines. But yes, we also are basically a full service travel vaccine clinic. We're still not there in terms of pharmacist prescribing, where we can give you the oral medication you need. But we will work with your doctor and recommend what's best. We try to make it as plug and play as possible. If you will. Yeah,
love it. So one of the things we did want to talk about today is we have an event coming up. May 31st at the Manteo Resort. It's I think you're in conjunction with somebody else that's in the community that we'll want to talk about, and it's around menopause and all the issues that come around that. So maybe you want to explain a little bit of sort of what your involvement is, because I see your name on the billboard here. So you're going to be. So what can people expect and what the event's all about?
Yeah. So. I'll chat a little bit about Marjan first. She's a local clinician, a doctor of nursing practice, nurse practitioner, and she has elected to specialize in the world of menopause through her own journey, really through this problem. So the times that I work with Marjan, she's just been so empathetic towards patients going through their own journey. And just so competent in terms of picking the right therapies and working, like we said, interdisciplinarily in our team, that I couldn't really think of anyone better to run this event with me. So the event itself, about half of it is going to be a screening of a movie made by experts in the United States.
Interesting. Cool.
So there's specialists that give their take. There's patients. And we look at policymakers as well, give their opinion on this. So it's a very well made film, and then so that's kind of the half of it, and then we go to a Q&A about the movie. We can answer our audience's questions on that, and it's nice to have an expert who's a clinician and an expert on the treatments like myself. And then we basically tell you how we can solve the problem if you are going to this journey. We provide a little bit more information, and we start developing our relationship after that, and getting you onboarded to our programs.
Very neat. So it's May 31st. It's a Saturday. 10 a.m. At Manteo Resort at the Waterfront Room. If people are interested, we talked about the cool thing is that there's no cost either.
It's free.
Yeah, it's free because you've had some sponsors and people that have helped support it. So, is it the best way to go to? I know we have the website here on radiancekelowna.net. Is that the best way for people to go on and actually sign up for it?
Absolutely, yeah. So the website link in our Facebook page, and I believe we'll put it in our website as well. That's going to be the best place to enroll. Or if you're currently one of our patients, if you're one of Marjan's patients or one of my patients, we can just enroll you as well and put you on the list. So
very neat. Yeah, and then we'll add it to the link in the story as well for people that are watching and listening. So we'll add that link into the story as well. And it's a free event. So if you or someone that you think this may be interested, we ask that you share it as well, because there's two, I'll call experts in the field that can answer your questions. And I didn't know there was a screening too, which is kind of cool. It's a nice little sort of break, a little bit different too as well. So
we found when we were reviewing this movie that it basically hits all the points that are important to both of us. And then I think it's important to be there afterwards
Right.
to answer whatever questions arise from it. It's not the simplest of issues. There's a lot of conversation, a lot of controversy at times around menopause, and so it's nice to be able to form those relationships and answer those questions right then and there.
Just have those discussions, right? Because sometimes it's like I not being a female, it's harder, but I assume it's typically you just don't talk about it, or you don't relate it to that symptom. It's not, it's not that or something else. Like I think there's a lot of just being open and having that discussion with Marjan, who you said is like, that's gone through it and it's lived life experience through that as well, will be good for people to actually be able to do that. So.
Absolutely. And really what piqued my interest in all this is really when I started working at Lakeside Pharmacy, my mom was starting to go through menopause. And, I was starting to learn about these therapies and what to do. And I recommended something for my mom, of course, under the supervision of our physician. And basically there was full disagreement. And they were like, you're not sleeping well, you're having some cognitive issues, here's a sleeping pill. Which comes with a little bit of baggage as well. So that's kind of where I started noticing that there's a need in the community for more personalized care. I don't think our public healthcare system really is designed to deal with such a universal yet so complex issue, right?
Yeah, I know. It's interesting. Well, even like back to your example, like given the sleeping pill, you're not solving anything. You're just putting duct tape on it.
Yeah.
Right. So
absolutely. And I mean, sleeping pills, they can be a little bit habit forming, and the more we read about them, the more we realize they're not necessarily improving your quality of sleep, or quality of functioning in the day. So it's it was something that really drove me to look into this more. Because I know that if it was happening to my mom, it was happening to a lot of women out there.
Yeah. Interesting. So the event, March 31st, Monteo Resort, 10 a.m. We'll put the link in the story in the details as well, or you can go to the Lakeside Pharmacy website or social channels, to find more information. So anything else we want to kind of talk about the event there before we wrap up? Is there anything else that we wanted to cover?
No, I believe that's everything I got for you guys today.
So what about last thing I want to ask is sort of from the pharmacy side, like I'm curious, I always like asking this question, like where do you see sort of this, like where's the trends going, where's the future going, or there's AI and automation and all this sort of stuff. Like I'm curious if, like, I'm always curious on, like, is any of that stuff leaking into your guys's day to day, or are these tools being used maybe from I know you guys are pretty high tech, like on what you're doing already in there, maybe even around that. Is there anything that we want to chat about, and sort of where you see sort of the future of the next, the 2, 3, 4, 5 years are going to look like in your industry? What's the crystal ball look like?
The crystal ball's in the shop. Right? I will say, pharmacy and medicine in general are so constrained by regulations.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
And a lot of our regulations are still quite old school. Just to give you an idea, our main form of communication with other pharmacies and doctors is through fax.
Fax, yeah.
So, things like that really inhibit this growth. But we are certainly looking at ways to incorporate AI and mostly within our operations and our workflow.
Right.
And then there's always a lot of automation that we can employ in the pharmacy as well. Robots that count pills, robots that prepare compliance packaging. We actually are setting one up right now to ramp up our blister packaging capabilities.
Very cool.
So yeah, we're just setting that up, and we're very excited about it.
Well, it's interesting. I think I'm a big believer of sort of human in the loop when it comes to this AI's movement. And I think that's one area that is hard to replace, like having that one-on-one conversation with you, doing these events and being able to talk about your feelings in your path or your lived experience through these sort of things, where like menopause, where it's hard to do with a robot.
Absolutely.
So-
And I'm still trying to teach AI how to read doctors'
Yeah.
writing, but I haven't figured that one out yet.
Good luck with that one. If
Yeah.
you can fill that, you'll become a millionaire overnight.
Exactly.
So, awesome. Well, Derek, thank you for joining. Really
Thank you,
appreciate
Rob.
having a chat. And and if anyone's listening, if you're interested, like I said, we'll put the link in both for the link if you visit the Lakeside Pharmacy website if you want to learn more, or pop in, say hi, and kind of experience what makes them different as well. So, but if you're interested in the event on the 31st, just go online and register. It's free. You can attend as well. So, Derek, thank you for coming in. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, Rob.
No problem. And I want to come check out these robots. So I'm going to pop in and look at what you guys.
Yeah,
got
we'll
going on
get
there.
you introduced
I
to
do.
Pac-Man. That's what we call
Is that what it's called?
our
Love
new
it.
one. Yeah.
I want to check out Pac-Man. It's so cool.
Awesome.
If everyone else, thank you for tuning in. I get big thank you to ATB Wealth for sponsoring these segments, or we can't do it without them. So thank you very much. And we'll talk to you next time. Enjoy your day. Thanks. Bye. Bye.
Community Spotlight, powered by ATB Wealth Kelowna. Ready to take a powerful step towards the future you want today? Connect with local advisors at ATB Wealth Kelowna to get started.